Hi folks, welcome to Candidates Forum once again. We are here with Isabella Solis, who's running for mayor. Oh, I'm Dave Gallus, I'm your host. You probably know me already, but anyway, Isabella Solis is running for mayor. Isabella, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dave.
What is the theme today?
My theme today for this show is a time to advance.
Time to advance, very important. Okay, the last show we went through your qualifications for mayor. County commissioner, you're my county commissioner, you're certainly qualified to run a city. So what is it you can bring to the table? What can you do as mayor?
Dave, well, first of all, before we get into that, I'd really like to take this opportunity to reach out to the community and all those that want change at City Hall.
We all want that.
Absolutely. And I also wanted to talk about a couple of candidates that I am friends with.
Oh, competition.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to thank Bev Courtney, who is a candidate for mayor, and for her information that she provided in regards to voter fraud. And I think that's really important I'm thankful that she brought that information forth. Sure. And basically what she is saying, and I agree with this, is that we need more honesty and integrity in not only our local government, but all the way to the top.
Sure.
And there's also another candidate that I'm really thankful for him, and his name is Mike Diaz. He is from the Dream Center.
Yes.
And I really appreciate his passion for the young people in our community. We don't have too many people that are passionate about what they're doing, but he is passionate, and I really appreciate Mike, and I think that he can make successful young people, and that's what we need for our next generation.
Sure, I hear you. Well, I know you talk big about transparency. There's quite a few items you have: transparency, accountability, smart infrastructure, private sector jobs, better education, public safety, small business support. So pick any one you want and let us know how you're going to fix this problem.
Well, I think that we need to take these goals and just be able to unite our city around these goals. And I think that these goals that I have on my card really are goals of many people that are running for office as well.
Absolutely.
So we really need to move on from the partisanship and really stop dividing one another and dividing, even our city. I think that we need to have one goal and focus on what is good for our community.
It sounds like you're willing to work with the competition with anybody across the aisle. So
absolutely.
And this is a nonpartisan election.
That's correct.
So it doesn't matter who it is. Vote the person, not the party necessarily.
Absolutely,
and you can do that in this election.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know that Miyagishima, I see a quote from the paper. Now, this is his fourth term he's running for. He's already been in 12 years.
That's my understanding.
I think that's enough time for anybody. And I'm not happy with the way the city's running right now. Now, I'm not saying it's all Ken's fault, but he's talking about he wants to beautify, and he's talking about bike trails, multi-use trails, and things like that. But I think there's bigger priorities. What do you think?
Well, I understand that that's his focus. The downtown plaza, the water fountains. I think that's great because I utilize that. I love the way it looks. I think it looks great. But, Dave, that does not bring one job to the community. It does not put any money in our pockets, and it did not bring a business either. And so what I see is a lot of vacant buildings around all of that beautification. And that really makes me sad.
We're losing businesses.
Well, as a matter of fact, there's 40 businesses, and we've all talked about all the businesses that have closed down in Las Cruces recently. And it's hard for me to concentrate on recreational opportunities when there are people that have lost their business. There are people that are unemployed and are looking for work, and that really hurts me. We can say, yes, a business has opened on the west side of town or wherever, but there's actually another one closing on the other side. So that is really detrimental to our city.
How do you, if you don't have a job, you can't even afford a bike to ride on the bike trails that's going to beautify Las Cruces. It seems like the balance isn't there.
Exactly. Well, I met a lady the other day I think it was at Home Depot, as a matter of fact. And so I was in there purchasing some things, and I asked her if she lived where she lived, and of course, I'm running for mayor, so I want to know if people live in the city.
Sure.
And she said that she was from El Paso. And I said, you come from El Paso to work in Las Cruces? And she said, yes. She says, because I get paid more over here. Of course, because of the minimum wage.
Right.
And so it sounds to me like our money here in Las Cruces, in our own city, is leaving New Mexico and going to Texas. So I think
we're employing people from outside the city.
Yes. So, I mean, to say that City Hall doesn't have any major problems, I think that the biggest problem we've had, and everyone's actually touched on it, is the projects on Valley Drive. That's been huge, and I've heard a lot of...
I don't know how many businesses have closed down because of that.
Right, exactly.
And then I try to drive through the city, and I think I can, if I get to Valley Drive, I'm okay, but I can't even get there because you might have construction going on at a couple other spots. It seems like poor planning.
That was really poor planning and lack of communication. But I don't want to blame all that just on, City Hall. I think that businesses also have a part to play in it because once they are notified that this is happening, then, they have a responsibility to say, what am I going to do to promote my business now that I have this huge roadblock in front of my business?
Do they have any input, though, with City Council? Can they request certain things? Can they sit down with City Council and talk with them? To me, when I go into City Council, they might listen to me or they appear to listen to me, but I don't think they are.
Well, they should have that opportunity, and I think as mayor, I would have the doors. And as a matter of fact, Dave, I brought a key today.
Oh, I saw that. What's this about?
Well, I had a friend that gave me this key, and so when they gave it to me, I didn't really think anything of it, but now that I'm thinking of it, I really feel like he gave me a key to the city. Uh-huh. And so I say this key is not only for myself, but it's a key to all the people in Las Cruces. You have a key. It is an open door policy. You can come into my office. You have the key.
Well, now, that is a nice key.
It is, isn't it? That was a nice gesture from that gentleman.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
Talking about an open door policy, I make phone calls and have to contact a certain person in City Hall, and you can't get the person. You can't leave a message. The person that's at the desk can't give you any information. Can you improve that once you're mayor?
Well, one of the things that I would like to see happen, one of the solutions I think is that we need to have a customer service training for all employees at City of Las Cruces to be able to expedite small questions when taxpayers call in, to be able to answer them right away as opposed to transferring them, several phone calls or several departments down the line.
Right.
And I mean, even I experienced that because I called the police chief and I wanted to meet with him, but the young lady that answered the phone said, well, his administrative assistant is not here and she'll be back on Monday. And I said, well, can you schedule me an appointment? And she says, no, I can't do that. I don't have access to his schedule. And I said, okay, well, here's my number. Can you just ask him to call me? So I'm still waiting. It's been about a week and I still haven't heard anything back.
So you didn't get the police chief, you didn't get the administrative assistant, and you can't get any phone call return.
No, so I think that's why we need customer service training for the employees to be able to provide a good, concrete answer to our taxpayers because they deserve it.
And how about accountability for these people?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I also want to talk a little bit about the Sears that's closing down at the Mesilla Valley Mall.
Wow, how many people are losing their job because Sears closed down?
I'm not really sure how many people are losing. I don't have that number.
Right.
But
it's a lot.
Yes, but Sears is closing down their doors, and I was really saddened by the fact that there are people that are going to be unemployed. I talked to a little young man and I said, well, what are you going to do? He says, well, I have to go look for another job. So that really hurt me, that Sears was closing down. Sears has been in operation for so many years, and then just to see it close down, I was heartbroken. So that to me is a big concern. And we should be focused on these things as opposed to the plaza and the water fountains, which is great. But these are the focuses, these are the needs in our community, Dave.
Sure, that's a priority. I would think so,
absolutely.
I mean, I like bike trails too, but really, if you don't have a job, like I said, you can't afford the bike to be on the trail.
Yeah, right.
So, no,
exactly.
I hear you.
Right, exactly.
You've got a lot of other things here: small business support, public safety, better education, private sector jobs. So there's a lot of work to be done. I think you're going to be quite busy once you get in office.
Absolutely. And one of the other things that I'd like to address that really affects our business community, and I've heard over and over, is the inspectors in our community. And that's been a huge concern with the business community. So that is a problem that I would like to address further down the line.
The inspectors.
The inspectors, yes.
These are the people for permits and things like
that?
Okay.
Yes. So our business community, actually, when I'm thinking about it, is I had a actual constituent that said these words to me. And when I was listening, I really took it to heart because this is exactly what he said. We can buy awards and pay $10,000 to say how wonderful we are as a city and talk about trails and being bike friendly. This is a quote. This is what he said. But we must be honest with our constituents. This is what he is saying to me.
Right.
What is our workforce? What is our industry? Where do we start? Who are we? What can we offer businesses coming in and out? And he says, our mayor and city councilors has let us down. And so that really hurt me when I heard that. So I am inspired to be able to bring solutions to our city. And some of the solutions perhaps that is really damaging us is the minimum wage and the GRT.
GRT.
The gross receipt tax. One of the solutions that I like to see happen is the same way that GRT tax was implemented, the same processes that were used to increase that tax. I would like to see us use that same process to lower the GRT, to be able to bring balance, because now we have the minimum wage and we have the GRT that are really high. So if we can lower the GRT, at least we can bring balance to city government.
Okay. So you're going to get in there, dig into it, and find out how you can create this balance.
Absolutely. Well, that's what people want. We need to be able to help our citizens. We are not doing enough to help our citizens.
We want to keep our citizens in Las Cruces. We want to have jobs for them in Las Cruces. And we don't want to be competing with other outside agencies, El Paso or whatever.
That's correct.
So.
Well, we want our community to flourish.
Okay.
And I think as mayor, I need to be able to work with people to be able to create and execute policies to be able to cause our city to flourish.
Okay.
And and that's not something that I can do by myself.
No.
That's something that we're going to have to work together. That's why I say working together to create and execute these policies.
Well, I've seen how you work together or try to work together with the county commissioners, and I can only imagine you're going to do that. And the fact that you address some of the people that are your running mates or running competition, I guess. So that's a good thing. And I imagine you're going to be drawing from people's experience and knowledge to help you make the right decisions.
Absolutely, Dave. And like I said earlier, I really want to form a volunteer council board that would be able to counsel me. I would be willing to listen to their thoughts and ideas. And it's really important as mayor to be able to listen to new ideas to see how we can cause our economic growth, or how do we see our city growing? What makes it tick?
Wow, that sounds good. Well, look, we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
We're going to come back and solve the problems of Las Cruces. So we'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned for more with Isabella Solis running for mayor. There you go.
So great. You do all these different gears to the plan.
Okay.
Nice.
Guys, not all, but
Horizon Granite is here.
It's here! Horizon Granite is here. We'll come to you to customize your kitchen and bathroom with beautiful countertops and cabinets. Find out more at horizongranite.com. Call us at 575-650-3180.
Horizon Granite is here.
It's here!
Make yourself a beautiful home.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to the Candidates Forum. I'm Dave Gallus. I'm the host, and we're here with Isabella Solis, who's running for mayor of Las Cruces. Now, we've talked about an awful lot of things, and I have questions about city management, but more importantly to me, it seems like our city is in the business of competing with other small businesses in Las Cruces. That doesn't seem right. Can you tell me about that?
Well, Dave, what I'm seeing at the city is that the city has become its own entity, its own business. And it is not allowing the small businesses to flourish. And I think that we need to balance that out. And that's why it's important that we review the GRT to bring in new businesses. Because if we don't balance this out, this city is going to become the empire, and it's going to run and tell us how to run our city and how to run our lives. And we need balanced government. It is important to have balanced government, and it's important to have ideas from everyone, from every sector, from every walk of life, to bring their ideas to the table. We can't just be a one-sided idea city.
Right, right. And to me, it seems like whenever you get government trying to run a business other than governing or maybe interpreting the laws, that's when things go awry, because then you don't have the accountability that you would have in a small business. If a small business doesn't produce a product well, they go out of business because of the competition. If the city doesn't have competition, they're free to do what they want. And it seems like, do you have all of your offices filled? I heard that there's vacancies that have to be covered.
Yes, the last I heard, the city had seven major vacant positions that were vacant, actually 7 major positions. It was the city manager who, Stuart Eade has already has left. He resigned. I believe he resigned.
I don't know how a person can just leave a position unless they're ill or die.
Well, I'm not sure, what those reasons are.
That's not accountability right there.
So the city manager is a vacant position. The HR director position, the purchasing director, the economic development director, they're all vacant. I understand now that they may have hired an HR director, but I don't know how all these positions can come vacant all at once. So I don't know if it's just a lack of oversight. I'm not sure what's going on at the city, but this is important to our community. People need to know that this is going on.
I don't know how you can run a city if you don't have all your employees working.
Right. Well, these are key positions that are important to run the city.
Sure, sure. And that could account for why it's so hard to get through to different management positions in the city. When you try to call in, you can't get them. They're not here. And then it's going to be put a lot of labor on the people that are covering for them. So that's not efficiency.
Right, exactly. And I think the city even, as you say that, I just feel like they need to be able to cross-train their employees. I think a lot of that, when you start talking about departments and all of that, and I think that there's always that fear of job security, because we don't have businesses outside of government. And so people want to secure their jobs. And, I don't even blame them.
No,
I understand their position. But at the same time, they need to come up with a good vision for their department to run a healthy, department, to be able to produce for the city outside the 4 walls.
Well, you need leadership at the top, and that leadership filters down to other leadership positions underneath. So
absolutely, Dave. And I think it's time to advance this city, and we need to bring better solutions from what we've had in the past. And I know that my focus is not going to be on the plaza, and it's not going to be on water fountains. It's going to be on providing jobs and being able to bring clusters of industry. How can we find them? I need to understand and educate myself on how we can be able to bring these businesses into Las Cruces.
Right, sure. Well, that's what we need. Yeah. So you are going to be the leader that's going to do this.
Absolutely. I plan to lead Las Cruces into a thriving community.
Okay. Well, again, we've got so many issues that we can talk about. Private sector jobs, we talked about that. Smart infrastructure.
Well, Dave, before we get into smart infrastructure, and we can talk about that, but the other thing that really bothers me is that the city has hired a forensic auditor to do an investigation with the Economic Development Department. So I am really bothered by that. I don't know all the ins and outs, but this is a big concern for the taxpayers. People have been asking me what I know about that. I don't know a whole lot about what's going on, but I know that it is happening. And that is a huge concern for me.
I think a lot of people in Las Cruces, myself included, are in the dark on a lot of things. And trying to get to those city council meetings and when you're working or doing odd jobs is a hard thing to do. So transparency, that seems to be one of your... I think that's your top one. That's
yes,
your top
absolutely,
point.
yes.
Well, that's certainly necessary, because how can citizens feel as though they're getting a fair shake or being listened to if there's no transparency?
We just need to be transparent, and we need to be accountable, and things happen. For whatever those reasons are, things will always happen. We're not perfect and we don't know everything. But I think that, to me, if you tell me the truth right now, I can deal with it, even though the truth may hurt me and I'm disappointed, but at least I know the truth.
Well, how can you fix a problem if you don't know? And this key here, we're going to make sure that she keeps that door open, folks. So
yes.
Okay.
And you're going to have to hold me accountable to that.
Absolutely.
That's
I'll be glad
to.
to.
Yeah.
I raised Cain at City Council, so I hope I'm gentle on you.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that.
No problem.
One of the other things that I heard the city was doing was that they hired a consultant for the West Mesa development to bring businesses. And I think that that's a good idea, but so many of the times we bring consultants, we pay them lots of money, and all those studies may sit on a shelf. And I mean, I don't know why we're waiting this time, this late in the game, to be able to produce jobs. You know, my goodness, people are losing their jobs. People are unemployed. There is a crisis out there. And to say that the city has no major problems, I beg to differ, sir.
I hear you. Well, to me, it's like I'm a layperson, so I don't know how this works. But shouldn't we have people that would be knowledgeable in the consulting industry that we would be hiring people for, and then maybe you just interact with the contractors and you get the bids and things like that. So is it really necessary to have this consultant, like you say? I don't know, and it's big bucks that we're going to be paying for.
Absolutely. So. Well, and I think that has a lot to do, I would have to just say that some of those solutions would be, I would meet with this council board and we would discuss this before it even goes down to the actual councils, the members.
No, I don't think there is a civilian council board, is there, in the city?
Not that I know of.
But you're going to institute that.
I would like that, because you know what? I am not an island to myself, and I don't know everything, but I do plan to make changes. I am the solution to some of these problems. It's time to advance the city of Las Cruces.
Sure.
We need to stop just thinking that, you know, I can even go into this whole thing about, I got to receive a phone call from the farmer's market and how it's really going down the drain. And this lady had a really big issue because now the Veterans Parade is going to go down where the farmer's market usually hold their marketplace.
Right through the market?
Yeah, so she had some issues, and I told her that I would call her back and we'd have a further discussion to see what is going on with that. So that's another concern that I have, because when something is thriving, we should not take it away. We should not do things that causes it to go down at the bottom of the scale.
Well, I have a question that might help with that solution in itself. What if the farmers market shifted into the plaza? It's right there, and then you don't block Main Street, and you could still have your parades going down.
Well, that's true.
I don't know. It's an idea. Yeah. But yeah, I hear you. You have to listen to the people, and the people have ideas. And I like the idea that you are honestly saying that you don't know everything.
I don't.
But if you know how to manage people and identify the right person for the job, that's invaluable.
Well, and I think that we need to realize that we need each other. I'm not going into City Hall thinking I am high and mighty and I know everything. That is not true. I have to go in there humbly and say, I am your leader, here to serve.
Well, that's one thing I don't feel that we have in City Hall. When I go to the City Hall and make my complaints, it's like, no, I don't feel like I'm being heard, and I don't think my input is important to what they want to hear anyway. So.
Well, you know, Dave, just to say, to kind of bring all this, you know, to a conclusion, I just really want to say that it is important that we focus on businesses, that we focus on perhaps GRT being part of the solution and balance our government. Government is too top heavy, not enough balance, you know, with our city, with our businesses, business community, and find a way to make Las Cruces not a business entity, but to allow people to come in and feel free to create and build their own business, because they have a lot of ingenuity. There are people out there that have, they're awesome, and we're not allowing that to come in.
I'm sure these people would be very happy to sit down with you and give you the ideas. And you can implement them, or you can discuss them, or dialogue with them. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to help you help us.
Well, I really want them to help me, and I'm willing to listen to their input. I am teachable. I will listen to things, and if it's going to make me a better person, I'm willing to listen.
Well, I've been very pleased with you being my county commissioner, so I think that's wonderful. Well, we're getting down to the end of the show, so is there anything that you'd like to add, or how can people help you with your campaign?
So, Dave, I currently started a website page, and it's www.voteisabellasolis.com. Okay. And I have my platform and on there, and I have a little history and some things on there. And I also implemented a ranked choice voting explained. In case people have questions, it's on my website. I'd like for them to go to my website and read about that. Also, I have my Facebook page, Isabella Solis for Mayor. If anyone wants to donate into my campaign, they can send me a check, invest into my campaign at 4090 La Purísima Drive, Las Cruces.
Now, Made out to?
Isabella Solis for mayor.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a big check. $5, $10, $25, whatever. Every penny counts. And your investment into my campaign is what's going to cause us. This is a time to advance our city. And the only way to advance it is if I have your support.
Okay, so any donations would be an advancement to help the city.
Well, I don't even like to use the word donation, Dave.
Okay.
Because I want people to think that this is an investment that you are making into my campaign and into my life and into the city.
Well, can't do any better than that. So, okay. Is there any other location where they can get information about your campaign?
So, I mentioned my Facebook page, the web, and the website. But I also want to mention that if people are going to get ready to go out and vote, to be able to educate themselves on ranked choice voting. That's really important to understand that. And on my card on the back, I do have a little example, because the example that the city mailed in the electric bill, I believe it was,
Yes.
Was the
enchilada and tacos.
I know, and when I talked to people about that, they didn't even want that card. They said, "We're not elementary kids. We're not elementary kids." And he says, "We're professionals and we're adults." And I said, "Okay." So I put this little explanation on the back of my card.
But you explain it more if they go to your site.
Absolutely.
Ranked choice voting. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap it up today. So it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you for all the information. And folks, Isabella Solis for mayor. We'll see you next week, and we'll talk about other solutions to the problems in Las Cruces.
I'm Isabella Solis, candidate for mayor, and I approve this message. Luke Smith, Treasurer.